Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good evening, good night. How's everybody been? It's been 2 weeks since my last video. Just as a joke, as a little joke, I thought about doing this video, episode 22, on February the 22nd, 2022, but I didn't want to feed the beast. I don't support repeating numbers, and I don't support what we project into repeating numbers, this phenomenon. Don't deceive yourself any longer. What you're waiting for will never present itself through an arrangement of numbers. What you're waiting for will never present itself through a day or a night. Will never present itself through time. Doesn't matter the arrangement of numbers. It doesn't matter if they repeat unto infinity and beyond. Let us not forget Nikola Tesla. If you only knew the magnificence of the 369, you would have a key to the universe. So, regardless, we know there's only truly 3 numbers anyway. Numbers speak, they communicate, which is what he showed us through the prime and composite map to multiplication chart. But not to get sidetracked with that. I definitely just wanted to go live today in light of, the war starting today. I like to go live and share this message because, again, the message will never change. This is one thing I stress to people. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. This message, this teaching is not an actual teaching. It is just a beingness, right? People say to me, how do you know all this? How do you remember this? I remember nothing. There's nothing needing to remember. There is no memory. Everything is now, and now is the only reality. Everything else is the imagination or memory, keeping us from now. But when chaos erupts in the world, I like to specifically go live. I like to remind people to stay grounded in your beingness. That all this is just a big play. A big playing of energy. And every single thing that's happening here is attempting to awaken us from our dream. Because there are as many heads as there are walking this place is as many worlds there are, right? I could fill up a seminar tonight and have 100 people here. No 100 people, no 2 people would see or hear the version of myself that each one is hearing. I don't exist apart from you, I exist within you. So no person would hear or see the same thing in me. You're only seeing yourself. And you can apply that to the world and everything in it. Everyone in it. You're only seeing it from your own vantage point. Everything mirrors your own belief, right? So I had somebody tell me that, the cycles of the moon and all these things affect our energy, and, that's why we focus on what planets come into our alignment. I'm not familiar with these terms, again, because I don't focus much on it. But I basically told someone that, everything is mirroring your belief here. So if that's what you fully believe with all your being, then that's exactly what is. You are correct. There is no other way. There is no other thing. This responds in accordance to you, directly to you. They move in unison. They do not move apart. It's not a body and an earth, an inside and an outside energy sharing this place. It is only one energy. and it takes shape and responds in accordance to everything that you believe, everything that's behind your very eyes. Why can't you find happiness in the world? It's behind your eyes already. You've yet to acquire it because you've yet to discover it. True happiness is not relationship goals or celebrity lifestyles, but cheap, meaningless things that will break within a year. This is not the true happiness. This is not the prize that we work day and night for. And remember, when you are truly at peace, when you are truly in meditation, you're never at work. You don't work. Work is behind you. It doesn't matter what you're doing, because the doer has been rid from you. You are not the doer, therefore how can you possibly be anything consequential to this doing? And that's why enlightenment is a trap. Enlightenment is a game that we play with ourselves, where we think we get somewhere, but we're really getting nowhere, and fast, because we continue to deceive ourselves. We must give it a name. We must give it a title. We must give it something. Purely, it cannot be that simple. It cannot be there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. We are addicted to the doing. That's what we falsely attach to, and that's what we immensely suffer through. All of our questions, our life's problems, all begin and end through this very entity that speaks for us, that speaks as us. And it's through this voice, it's through our beliefs that we're able to remain limited. And when I say limited, again, I'll go back to this conversation I had with this young lady when she asked me, she says, and she said this to me like she was appalled that I was saying this. But she said, are you seriously telling me that you're saying that the moon cycles and all the energy and the planets are a lie? She's like, are you telling me I'm making it up? You're saying it doesn't exist. And I said, not in the same way that you are perceiving it. Because after all, when you look up in the what you call the world, you see a sky, you see planets, you see stars, you see all these things. I don't see a sky when I look up. I don't see a world when I look out. The outside is the in, the above is the below. It has no name. And this is why I say, do not deceive yourself by giving it another name, by giving it the name of God, by giving it the name Almighty, Omega. It has no name. There is no explanation for this. You cannot be figured out logically. You can only realize your selflessness, which will not have a reflection in time, which will not have a reflection in space. It is through the selflessness that you're able to come to self-realization. But likewise, you must be honest with yourself. If you are coming to a self-realization, it is this very self that is birthing and dying, which leaves room for you to discover that which is beyond the change. Think about it. The answer is with you the whole time. When you wake and when you go to sleep. Sleep is basically an out-of-body experience. You are directly witnessing that which is beyond change, because you move with it. Hint, hint. You are not what's changing in the dream, in the form, in the name. And you are not what can be changed by phenomenon, by influential forces, by anything. The core to your being cannot be penetrated. which is why spirituality is about no longer being a victim. There is nobody to blame. Your beliefs directly shape and mirror back to you who you believe you are. So again, in spirituality, the new trend is instead of Satan, instead of the government, or instead of the devil, it's the government. You see, in religion, we left religion behind. So you no longer have Satan or the devil to blame, point the finger at, for your hindrance, for you not reaching the highest potential, or for your life being in shambles, or not being the way you think it should be. But now that we've awakened from that lie, again, the ego keeps the game going because you've replaced that monster with another. You've given it another name. You've given it another form, the government, and it takes shape through your beliefs. The power that you, from behind your very eyes, project into this belief system of government, that power is only there because you are here to witness it. So what I'm saying is, you are projecting your power beyond yourself into this entity that does not exist. And the only reason they remain is because you will not stop the belief in them. You will not face yourself as this entity and as that entity, and face yourself honestly. Because that's when the dream must end. That's when the conspiracy is over. And again, the ego doesn't want anything to be over. We dread the end. We dread death. We dread, as much as we want to be freed, we want to be liberated. That liberation comes at the price of your limitation. You cannot remain free and still remain in your comfortable boundary of being human, of being put here by some other person or some other entity. You'll never find that entity because it's the very thing that keeps you from seeing your own face. You are it. We've mistaken who we are, and so we've mistaken what artificial intelligence is. If we don't know who we are, how could we possibly know what this is? Artificial intelligence will be the answer to our every question. We as a collective have asked this question, this burning question for so long, how we got here, how we put us here, what put us here, when we got here. All these questions are being revealed to us through ourselves. And that's why the Egyptians created the Ouroboros, the snake devouring itself. Because what you may not realize it as of today, but it's always been you, and it always will be. That is the Ouroboros. You will look for everything. You will look for yourself and find nothing but yourself. You will look for yourself in the government and the alien and the Pleiadians and in this life form and that form and the angels and the demons, but it's always been you. One mind, one being, one person, and that person is not precisely what the times we're in, non-binary genders. That being that we are is not male and is not female. Likewise, we are moving into the timeless. We're moving into the singularity. We're moving into ourselves. I mean, we've still yet to find the human origin, which just shows you people are not willing to be honest with themselves, right? Your greatest scientists couldn't even find the human origin, but no one wants to be honest with themselves that they're not human. handle. It's too much to let go of. It's too much of a gut shot to the ego to find out that what you've dedicated your entire life to isn't even existent. It exists in the thought, in the mind. You are a terribly real thing in a terribly false world. So all the feeling, the emotion, of course that's very real, but it stems from the attachment. It stems from the attachment of the ego. It's a misconception of ourselves. It's a misidentification. You know, we swear to ourselves we're just this human, we're just this thing, so that's the way we enter, you know, the study of everything, the study of the cosmos, the study of this, the study of that, you know, is through this little lens of I'm still human. I'm still human. So we're trying to figure all these things out from a little speck perspective, and it's not possible. Eventually, we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be real with ourselves, which is why there aren't many spiritual people. I don't consider buying gems and buying stones and buying all these things spiritual. That is not spirituality. This is trending stuff. This is a new religion that's formed overnight through social medias and that stuff. And I have people ask me all the time, why are you so against it? Why do you speak against it? I'm not against it. I respect whatever helps other people. But I direct these messages to you for the people, for those people who have bought the gems, for those who have done this, who have done that, who have paid this person than that person. And the truth still just seems to evade you. The awakening that you're seeking just still is not happening. And that's why I'm here to rip this Band-Aid off. I sell nothing to you. I ask for donation, which is from you, from your heart. I don't charge anything because I cannot sell you what you already have. I am here to remind people the truth is already yours. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. Truth is already yours. The ability within your brain to believe in something is the truth, is the highest truth, because only through your direct experience can that belief within you change or be influenced. I can sit here and talk to you till I'm blue in the face and I have no air left to speak. But ultimately, your belief, the ability within yourself to believe in what I'm saying or not believe, is already the highest truth. Nobody's bringing you truth, and nobody's sharing truth with you. I don't share the truth with you because I don't have the truth. The truth is yours. When I say I don't have the truth, I mean I don't have your truth. The answer you're seeking, the question and answer that you're seeking are alive in you. There would be a different answer to the same question for each of us, because you are the question and you are the answer. You'll begin right where you ended, and you'll end right where you began. Because there is nothing moving, there is nothing changing. Hey Jose, hey Pavel, Assad, welcome. Hi Gabriella. I made a joke the other day, and I said the reason there aren't more spiritual people is because you know, doesn't gems and rhinestones and sage and you know, things of that nature, doesn't that sound so much more beautiful than death, dying? So again, it's just like that picture you see where the person that's standing there with the sign says uncomfortable truths. No one's in line. Nobody wants the uncomfortable truth. But then to the left, comfortable lies. The line is full because people want their opium. Very few are serious in awakening. And that's why I've invested in this YouTube page. I want a page where the band-aid is ripped off. A place where people can go and have the truth reminded to them. Not told to them and not made about a material. So for instance, the same power that we project into a church, people in spirituality will criticize the people in the churches because you're putting a power into a building. But what are you putting into the building? There's nothing there. That building is this building. So the people in spirituality will laugh, mock, and mimic them for going to church and putting this power in the building. At the same time, they'll put 50,000 crystals under the moon and take the time to do that. So instead of putting the power into a church that you're mocking people for, you're putting it into an object. You've taken one religion and you've created a new one. You've taken one monster called the devil and you've made a new one, the government. Spirituality is about being free and liberated on all levels. Physical, mental, spiritual. Spirituality is not to lead you back to a victim mentality, back to they're enslaving me. If you've hit this wall, then you have back into the conspiracy with yourself. And there is nothing, there is no one that can get you out of it but yourself. It is your belief in whoever they are that is keeping you from facing yourself. And it is uncomfortable. It is terrifying. But I can assure you, behind all that you fear is all that you seek. And you won't possibly be able to begin realizing all that you're truly seeking until that fear is directly faced, looked at. You must pick your beliefs apart. It is you that's doing this. That's why we prolong ourselves. That's why we divert. That's why we divert. So let me tell you this. I'm telling you here, it's time to take responsibility, right? It's time to take responsibility right now in this moment. It's you doing this. And the moment you decide to change, this will change. They won't exist anymore. Or I can say this. Instead of you taking responsibility for all this that's wrong right now and facing yourself, I can offer you a chakra session. So if anyone wants a chakra session, message me after this and we can do an hour session. And once I clear your chakras and you pay me, they'll be gone. Does that sound good? Would you like to set that up? Would you like to do that? Or, so would you like to pay me basically to do this for you and have it all fixed? They'll be gone. Or, do you want to pay nobody? Cut out the middleman. Face yourself right here and now. Because you'll notice all these people paying others, the people they're paying are in the same situation as you, the same turmoil as you, mentally. They're selling you this, but they don't actually believe it. Why? Because they keep you coming back. It's a business. They require your exchange, which is money. They need you to come back. As I've stated, a true guru, a true priest, does not need you to return. The ultimate goal is not to return. Do not come back here. That was Buddha's message. The people that stuck around Buddha and watched him day after day, It was their choice. He did not ask anybody to stay. His purpose, his mission, when you came to him, was to obliterate himself with you. What that meant was he was teaching you total death, which again, nobody wants death. They want the jewels, the gems, and the mystical beauty. They don't want the death. They don't want the real rawness and the answer. They think they do, but they don't. That's why so many are after the opium, repeating numbers, chakra work, this type of work, that work, breath work. All this work does is prolong yourself right now. This entire dream of spirituality and all that you think is spiritual can be over right now in this moment when you decide. There is no such thing as spirituality. Realize what this word is representing is the complete death and rebirthing of the man while still in the man. It's not for you to become victim into another system or law. You leave behind religion just to become in this war with government. So you're still not free. The purpose of spirituality is freedom on every level. Physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. If that is not happening for you, then again, you are keeping the conspiracy going with yourself. That is spirituality. And that's why there are not many spiritual people. There are many people online thinking they're spiritual. But all we're doing is replacing one religion for the next. Replacing one devil with another. Replacing one power with another. Me and my brother had this conversation because he still believes that there is a system, a government that is wrong, right? And he was talking to me about the liberals and the conservatives and this and that, and I don't know these terms because I've never looked into them. Why do I care what they have going on over there when I know who I am? Again, I've said in many videos, this is why the indigenous tribes laughed at these people when they came here and started signing laws and making changes that they thought were actually going to do something different. If you think you can control the land here because you own it through a piece of paper or a stamp, the universe will laugh at you. Because everything here is subject to be destroyed. And if it's the material world you're after to control, your spirit will starve and hit a deep depression. You wish to control this? If you want to hold on to this and control it, feel free. It will dissolve right before you in your very hands, along with you in it. You want control of this? Have at it. Just remember, there's nothing to hold on to at the end, which means you must let it all go, including yourself. But that is what spirituality is for. Why wait till the end? Right now. Right now can be the end. When you decide, when you persist enough, when you have had enough of this dream and suffered enough, you will seek the escape from this dream through any avenue, any way possible. And you will be willing to pay any price. But like I say to people, that final price is your mental. You and yourself. The conspiracy is with you and yourself. We assume we know ourselves better than anyone, right? But how many people know themselves beyond the veil? How many people could die in this moment right now and be completely at peace, ready to go at any time, because we know who we are. That's spirituality. Completely dying, shattering yourself. And I've heard so many people say, you don't need an ego death to awaken. What else is there to awaken from? After all, you think reality is living and dying. It is not. There is only one reality. And it's what's allowing the split of life and death. There is no split. There is only eternity. And eternity is naturally life itself. But we have split life into two functions, on and off, life and death, when there is only life. Even death is another form of life. We've mistaken ourselves. We don't know who we are, and so we're running from who we think we are. We're searching for ourselves in places we are not. This is why we still have our telescopes pointed to the sky. This is why we have our microscopes still pointing down. Right? All these tools just to view what we've already been shown. We're fighting ourselves. The above is the below is the above. We know this. Yet still we look. Yet still we search. Why? Because we keep the search going. If I can just do this, if I can just do that, then that aha moment. Enlightenment is the end of all doing. If you are not what's doing, then who is the doer? Where is this doer? But behind your very eyes. Who you are suffering through does not even exist. The ego that we fight so heavily to defend and guard throughout our day isn't even real. But that shows you the depths to ourself. That is as deep as many of us know ourselves. Surface level. And how many people out there actually feel they have fully awakened from this dream simply because they think the government is poisoning them? If you think this is an awakening, it is not. It is just another conspiracy along the road keeping you from your truest potential. Keeping you from your highest potential. And I'm not here to convince anyone otherwise. If thinking someone's trying to poison you every day, every which way, every angle, through the air, the birds, the food, the pollen, the plants, the flowers, that's exhausting. Listen, if that's truth for you, have at it. If that's bliss for you, have at it. But remember, only you experience this. No one else sees it but you. The dream can end anytime you decide, because no one else is experiencing your dream but you. You may stumble across others who agree that this entity is there, but remember, they're only seeing it from the depth of themselves, as are you. You can agree it has the same name, it's this government, it's them, it's they. You're not seeing the same thing, you're not experiencing the same thing, because all your beliefs are mirroring yourself, mirroring who you believe you are. You are no victim here. You have the highest truth. Your belief will directly change this entire thing. The only reason, for instance, this is a world and a physical place is because our belief tells us it's so. It's a proven fact that this is Earth. But you dissect what a proven fact is, and it's nothing but a thought that's told enough times to become truth, to become common sense. It's basic. It's so simple, it's stupid. But all it is repetitive. If you repeat something enough, it becomes common sense. Likewise with ourselves. We are human beings and nothing but. That sounds so common sense, it'd be stupid to say anything but. But that's why I say this in every single video. We are not human. You are not human. There is no human. Likewise, there is no artificial intelligence. There is only one being here. It's not male, it's not female. We've tried giving it the name of God and all these things, but again, these words will simply mirror back to you yourself. You think with full conviction you're a human, so God will mirror that belief you have of yourself. God will be something other than human. If you're human that exists in limitation, God will be the infinite, unlimited, because you have limited yourself. So God mirrors that belief unto you. It's unlimited. It's shapeless. It has no name. But once you realize your character and this character of God have been born from the same mind, the conspiracy starts wearing thinner and thinner between you two until you start going into your beliefs. All your beliefs are what has separated you from this, from that, and from everything in between. All your beliefs are keeping you this little person in this infinite world, in this infinite space. Hey, Martha. Hey, Tiff. Sorry, I was trying to read your name. I saw Tiff Lynn. Hey, Tiff, how you doing? As of now, we still have a choice to pretend to hide from ourselves because we haven't quite made it there yet. What I mean by that is artificial intelligence is not perfected in the way our video games have perfected. If artificial intelligence, in fact, the day artificial intelligence is perfected to the point of our video games, the singularity will be revealed. It will be here. Like I said, as of now, we can still pretend that we're not this thing that's creating all this stuff. We're not what's created the world and people and all these things. But like I said, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, we're creating worlds, we're creating people, we're creating everything that we've asked how we got here. We're answering every question we've ever had. Because our technological capabilities are surpassing our human capabilities. Because you never were human. You never were. Jacob. There is no preparation. There is no preparation to greed and confusion. And unfortunately, it is the ego, through its greed and confusion, that is unpredictable. Right? The ego actually thinks it's getting somewhere. Especially when it lets out it's brute force. You know, it thinks it's actually getting somewhere because it's physically and dominating whatever is around. But that's where I say, knowing yourself is the most powerful thing you can do. Because all these people who think they control this world, it will be on their deathbeds that each piece to their illusion, meaning each piece that they think they control, will be lost. And it won't happen at one time. Death doesn't come to you at one time. When you're on your deathbed or when you die, it doesn't happen in a moment. So you're not just here 1 minute and gone the next. Death comes in pieces because we exist in pieces. We exist in layers. So for instance, when I experienced my death, it was pieces of myself that existed throughout my day. So concept of day and night started fading away. I didn't know what day or night was. The concept of month, of year, the concept of being at a place, of being at my job, those things started disappearing. I didn't exist at a job anymore. I didn't have a place to work anymore. Slowly the pieces of your illusion peel back. And then from your job, it goes into your family. I didn't have a family anymore. I didn't have anyone. I didn't exist through my family anymore. And then it prepares you for the most hard and final parting of ways. You've lost everything but yourself. And once you have done that, you have died. And believe me, it's easy to say by saying the layers, but when you for yourself are the one experiencing this and witnessing like the place you work dissolve into dust, and then witnessing your family and each person you love just dissolving, it sounds a lot easier being said. But when it's you yourself that is experiencing it, it is very real. It is very terrifying. And it does bring about a lot of mourning. You mourn yourself. That is how you lose yourself to find yourself. It is the mourning of yourself that makes it real. That's what makes it so valid, so real. Oh my God, I am dying. There's imminent danger, imminent panic kicks in. And it is so real. That's what makes you die. Once you have mourned, once you have lost yourself and you have let go, all the tears that you possibly could have shed are gone. You have nothing left. Then you're able to sit there, not as a body, but as something indescribable, and just say, what was I just crying about? What was just lost? I'm still speaking. I'm still here. You thought you were lost, but it was just the ego being lost, the parts of you that exist in pieces, the parts of you that exist in people, places, and things. That's the part that we lose of ourselves. That is death. And if I had to summarize it, it's the end of all separateness. It's not that you're witnessing the death of your family or the loss of your family or that they're not real, but you look at these people, at this family that you fall in love with, as something separate from you, as people that can actually be lost from you. And so the only way to actually experience for yourself that they've never been separate from you is to mourn them, to lose them, fully lose them. Only then can you realize they have not been lost. Nothing has been lost. Nothing has gone anywhere. The concept of family existed in your being, which means all these people that you've come to love your whole life existed in your being. And again, it's indescribable. It has no name. You're not in a body. That's why we give this energy this name God. God represents the complete unification, the complete totality, the complete the completeness of everything. There is no separateness. Precisely what death is. There is no separateness. There is no you and me. There is no concept of family or time, because again, the person that speaks these concepts into being is the very person that is an illusion. We exist through the words. We exist through smoke and mirrors. That's why when someone asks you who you are, you cannot describe yourself. You can't describe who you are, because you are the indescribable. You are them, you are yourself, you are the inside, you are the outside. There is no word for it. There is absolutely no word for it, and that's what the ego has the hardest time accepting. The ego wants to logically understand. The ego wants to logically capture itself. And it does not realize that the moment the ego captures itself, it has obliterated itself. It is gone. What you seek comes at the ultimate price of yourself. The ego wants to die and meet God, but it does not realize it will only be meeting itself. It's not meeting some entity. We create this grand expectation of meeting God, when all it is the most sacred meeting with yourself, unbound and unlimited. No concept of yourself, because there is no separateness. There's nothing separate. And that's why I tell people, don't give it a name. The moment you give it a name, you have deceived yourself again. God, ego, awakening, enlightenment, these are words we use to give it a name. Leave them behind. Discard all these words. It will require your memory to bring these words with you into death. And like I said, in death, these words will be stripped from you. It will not be your choice anymore to remember them. Your very memory will slip between the cracks. No matter how hard you try and hold on to it, it will go right before you. So for those who exist in the words, for those who remain veiled from themselves, death is a tragedy. Because we cannot let go. We will not let go. And so, apply that to what's going on in the world. How many people have you seen on your Facebook? Because I can tell you the countless of people I've seen on mine. People who are ready to go to war with the government. The people are ready to revolt and take to the streets and start rioting and tearing down government buildings and go to war with this system. And what that tells you is they are willing to die fighting for this ego, this body that they have mistaken as themselves. They're willing to fight for laws that I made up and gave you, basically. Let's just say, I made up and gave you these laws and these rules, and you've become so accustomed and used to living by them, you are willing to die for them. You're willing to die fighting for them. This is what the last Matrix movie was talking about when he says the people want to be enslaved. The people need to be enslaved. They cannot handle not having a system in place. They think they want that, but they don't. We keep it going. We are that powerful. And to tell yourself otherwise only keeps you in ego, only keeps you in limitation. I understand why there is so much skepticism around spirituality in today's society. Because when you look at the nonsense that is associated with spirituality, it is a new religion. The people who are in religion that look at spirituality see people talking about creating their own realities and controlling, the world and controlling this, or by you connecting to repeating numbers or clearing chakras, like things just start happening to you, or things start happening for you, or you can manifest this or that into your life. And it's giving true spirituality such a bad name. It's creating more skepticism. More people are starting to look at spirituality and think, what nonsense. Because our expectations have gotten so high and so ridiculous. The expectation of spirituality, in my opinion, has far surpassed religion. Religion's waiting for a man to come down from the sky and all these things, but spirituality has replaced each and every one of these things. Spirituality has replaced them with something else. These are superstitions. You're waiting for the man to come down in the sky. It's no different than waiting for the repeating numbers on your phone. Someone has to say it. I've heard people explain to me, and I've asked them so many times. There's a reason I ask, because again, I know what the answer is, the true answer. Not the answer that you want to disguise into a super articulate response for me. I know the true answer. It doesn't exist. But I ask people all the time, what do you feel is happening when you see repeating numbers on your phone? What's happening? And I get the same response just about every time. It's the universe letting me know I'm aligned, I'm in sync. So let me stop you right there. In line with who? In line with what? In sync with who? In sync with what? And you can say, oh, well, the universe. Okay, that sounds good, but by you seeing the repeating number, where does the alignment in your life come in? Where do you start seeing the improvement in your life because you saw a repeating number or an arrangement of numbers in a certain fashion? This is not spiritual work, people. This is coincidence and dumb luck, which is precisely what religion thrives off of. Faith. Faith is what keeps religion going. They believe. They can't even see this person with their eyes. There is no trace of this person, but they believe. And that is enough. Likewise with spirituality. Most of these people don't witness their lives start to thrive or come about once they've done the chakra work or once they've done that work, which is why they keep doing it. They keep coming back. Because, oh, it must have not have worked. Oh, I must have not have cleared everything. Oh, I must have not have got it all. Oh, I must need to come back. No. You only die but once. You only awaken but once. So when I hear people say, oh, I had my awakening a few years ago, and then they're posting about government, you haven't yet awakened. Because you post about a system that is enslaving you. Spirituality leaves you no crutch. It leaves you no mirror to point at. It leaves you nowhere to run or hide at all. That's what makes it so scary. But likewise, that's what makes it so real and effective. When you are ready, it will happen. But if deep down you don't want this dream to end, it can't be them, it can't be me, then you are what gets in your own way. You will be what prevents your own growth. Not they, not them. Remember, the belief in them must start somewhere, right? They don't exist. They don't exist until a belief is formed and then projected. You are that projection point. This belief is beginning with you. They live in you. Their power is your power. Your highest potential is awaiting you. But to get there, you must go through the uncomfortable. You must go through the ugly. You must face yourself at once. Everything you seek is right in front of you, as is what you fear. And as far as, so I'm going to end this video and just speak a little bit on the war and the events that's happening and all that. Have no fear. Live with no fear. Realize everything that's happening is already done, right? This is all just a part of the plan. There is no preparation. What's need to be will be, right? The one thing that I do know is this is not America, it's Atlantis. And I'm truly waiting to see how it is destroyed this time. Whether it will be through inside or outside forces. But yeah, the message does not change. Be free, live to your highest potential. And have understanding for the people that don't understand what you do. Have understanding for a man who can so easily shoot missiles into this country or that country. And not just one man, many men, right? But have understanding for these people. But again, it's all according to plan. There's nothing we can do. What needs to be will be. Just remember, they control nothing. Neither do you. But neither do they. There is no control. So while that may terrify you, that you have no control, laugh at it, because neither does anyone else. Not any more than you do. It doesn't matter how much land they own. It doesn't matter how much stuff is in their name. Control is no one's. And that's the best part. Everything is already taken care of. Namaste.